the totals you have to bet in week 5. Welcome, football fans and gridiron gamblers. It's Mitch here with my 5 over-under best bets for week 5 of the 2025 NFL season. Gronk, spike the like button. And don't be a jabroni. Subscribe for more NFL best bets, including spreads, totals, props, and more. This is my first video on this channel, Money Mitch. Welcome. Where we cover over, under, top picks, and best bets. If you enjoy, get in the comments and let me know. And don't forget to like the video. It's important because I want to know if you guys enjoy. That way I continue to make these videos. Okay, let's get started with my favorite over-under picks for week 5. The first pick is the Denver Broncos at the Philadelphia Eagles, under 43.5. These are two of the better defenses for my money in the NFL, led by two of the better defensive coordinators in the NFL, Vance Joseph and Vic Fangio. This is, for what it's worth, a Vic Fangio revenge game against the Denver Broncos. He was there once upon a time as the head coach not too long ago. And this is honestly a fade of two offenses that have been struggling for the entirety of the season and two quarterbacks that have been struggling for most of the season, Jalen Hurts and Bo Nix. Both offenses have struggled to find consistency in the run game, and both quarterbacks have struggled to throw the ball down the field. The Eagles, primarily a big fade of Philadelphia here, against a Denver defense that has a top-notch pass rush. Nick Bonito with the quickest hop to the football you've ever seen. This guy, his burst, his first step is ridiculous. Zach Allen and John Franklin Myers in the middle are going to muck things up. And this is the best defense the Eagles have played this year. It's a good combination of a front that can slow down Saquon, rush Jalen Hurts without having to blitz, and cover A.J. Brown with Pat Surtain, the Defensive Player of the Year at corner. Denver can actually play aggressive in coverage while not overcompensating to stop Saquon and Jalen Hurts from running the ball. This is a rare matchup. And I do believe that the Broncos are going to stifle Saquon. They're going to frustrate Jalen Hurts. And Jalen does like to hold the ball. And against this pass rush, I think that's a dangerous combination. I don't like the vanilla offense or approach from the Eagles. I don't love how they're running the ball so far. And I certainly don't love that they have very little explosion in their passing game. I think the Broncos really give Jalen Hurts and this offense a tough time. On the other side, I'm fading Bo Nix. It's a good offensive line for the Broncos. Courtland Sutton can make plays, and the Broncos did look better against Cincinnati, but that was at home against maybe the worst defense in football. Philadelphia has arguably the best combination of corners in the league. Cooper DeJean at the nickel position, Quinyon Mitchell outside, and they have great linebackers. Zach Bond has been playing phenomenal this year. Jahad Campbell, as a rookie, has been playing pretty well. The defensive line, Jalen Carter will play in this game despite the injuries. Yes, Nolan Smith is out, but I like the way that the Eagles have been able to still provide some pressure in key moments, like Ajomo last week on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think most specifically, Bo Nix, after his first read, which Vic Fangio should do a good job of taking that away, he hasn't been very good. He gets scattered, he kind of gets lost, and he does panic. On top of that, I do kind of think that the Broncos have been one of the worst early down offenses in the league because their screen game, their quick passing game, their RPO game has not worked quite the same this year as it did last year. And the Eagles are very good at tackling in space. So I think this is an under. I think this is like a 21-17, 2017 ugly game. I think this is an ugly football game. So I'll take the under, 43.5. Both defenses are stronger than the offenses. Next, Washington at Los Angeles, under 47. Jaden Daniels returns for this game to face Justin Herbert, but there are injuries on both offenses that lead you to believe this game could be lower scoring than you would typically expect. The Chargers have many injuries on their offensive line. Left tackle Rashawn Slater has been out for the season. Joe Alt had to slide to left tackle. He's now out. The Chargers have a suspect and absolutely brutal, beat up, bruised offensive line. And Washington doesn't have a great pass rush, but I think it has been better than last year. And I do feel like Dan Quinn has a creative way of scheming up pressure to get after Justin Herbert. The Commanders have also been better against the run this year than last year, and that should slow down the Chargers on early downs to be able to just run the ball like they did against the Giants. I am a little worried about the Commanders' corners on the outside because Marshawn Lattimore is absolutely washed, and I do believe their nickel corner is injured for this game. But again, if Herbert doesn't have the time to throw and set his feet and launch the ball downfield, the Chargers' offense might be a bit of a sputtering unit where they occasionally hit a big play, but they also might take a sack, which is going to lead to 3 and outs. On the other side, this is a really well-coached Minter defense against a offense with no Terry McLaurin and maybe no Deebo Samuel. Deebo has been beat up. He could be playing in this game, but he's not 100% healthy. So their top 2 receivers are not healthy or not playing. And really, you look at how the Chargers defense matches up with this Commander offense. They are very good at tackling in space. Henley and Derwin James are 2 of the best at safety and linebacker, which take away those quick completions and screens and horizontal offense that Cliff Kingsbury likes so much. Jaden Daniels might not be 100%. And the Chargers, just the way that they're built, they are pretty capable at tracking down a mobile quarterback in space. So I think this game is a little bit tighter, a little bit slower, a little bit lower scoring than a fully healthy Charger Commander game would be. I think this is more of a 24-21 than it is a 28-24. So I will take the under 47 in this matchup. Love how the Chargers match up with the Commanders offensively from a schematical perspective. And I think the Charger offensive line is just too beat up to produce more than 27 points. Next, Detroit at Cincinnati. Give me the over 49.5. Detroit might be able to score 49 points in this game by themselves. Cincinnati has a bad defense. Detroit has the offensive line to block Trey Hendrickson and the play action and run balance to keep the Bengals off balance. They can run the ball for 200 yards. They could throw the ball for 300 yards, and I wouldn't be surprised. Amon-Ra St. Brown has nobody to cover him in this game. Jamison Williams' speed is going to scare the Bengals to death. And yeah, the Bengals are at home, but honestly, I don't think that's slowing down Jared Goff or Jahmyr Gibbs. I think there will be explosives all over the field for the Lions. And the Lions, they don't take that foot off the gas, which is what I like in an over bet. Second, this is a good spot for the Bengals offense to bounce back. They've taken on the Vikings and the Broncos on the road against 2 of the most difficult defenses to face in the NFL, against 2 of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL. Detroit has a solid defense, but they do have injuries at the cornerback position. They do have injuries to DJ Reed, their number 1 corner. They do have injuries to Terrion Arnold, their number 2 corner. And those 2 guys are likely not going to play, especially DJ Reed, which means that Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are facing backup cornerbacks. It shouldn't be that hard for Jake Browning against a defense that can't rush the passer like the Broncos or the Vikings. They're 28th to the Detroit Lions in pass rush win rate, so they should have time to throw the ball. And Jake Browning can be decisive, accurate at getting the ball out. He's also fairly decent against the blitz traditionally throughout his career because he does have one-on-one matchups to go to. Noah Fant should be back in this game. The Bengals have been targeting him. I think the Bengals are having to be aggressive in this game. They know that. Zach Taylor will be going for it on 4th down, I think more than you would think. That will probably lead to rather short fields for the Lions and more points, or just extended drives for the Bengals. Either way, I think the Bengals are going to hang in this game more than people expect, and I think this game will actually be like a 34-24 type of score. So I really do like the over here for Detroit, Cincinnati. Next, New England at Buffalo. This is a 49.5 total. The number has moved up. Unfortunately, doing this video on a Friday, it makes this more difficult because the lines are more accurate than if I would have picked this on a Tuesday. But I like the over nonetheless. I think that both teams are going to reach the 20s. So from there, we've just got to guess, okay, how many points? Like, let's just say 27-24 Buffalo. I think New England will cover. I think New England is going to hang in this game. And this is between two of the best quarterbacks playing so far this season. Drake May has played like an MVP candidate. He's been the best quarterback on 3rd and 4th down in the NFL. He has been, just absolutely dealing. He's leading the NFL in completion percentage. Meanwhile, Josh Allen's the leading MVP candidate and the reigning MVP and the best player in football. So at a fundamental level, it's two really good quarterbacks facing two okay defenses, but I wouldn't say that I'm there yet with the Patriots defense to say that they're good. And they're facing Josh Allen and basically an indefensible run game of James Cook and Josh Allen. And the Bills have the best run game in football. The Patriots do have a strong run defense, but I just feel like the Bills are too good. Like, the offensive line is too good. Josh Allen is too good. They do have matchups at tight end, running back, and slot receiver that they can take advantage of against the Patriots in the middle of the field, which is where the Bills could really put up some points. On the other side, I think New England is going to score on the Bills. The Bills have a leaky defense. They've allowed points to the Saints, the Dolphins, the Ravens for sure. Josh McDaniels has always been able to scheme up a strong running game for Sean McDermott's defense, the undersized Bills. Like I said, Drake May's playing great. Mike Vrabel's actually shown that he'll go for it on 4th down, especially in a role where he's an underdog of 8.5 points or 8 points. The Patriots do have the weapons to take advantage of a weaker Bills secondary. Stephon Diggs just got it started last week. Hunter Henry's been one of the best tight ends in football. Wouldn't be surprised if Travion Henderson made some plays here. And again, I just think that this game's going to be very close. A little bit of a back and forth between two electrifying quarterbacks. I think Drake May makes a statement about how talented he truly is. I think this is going over 49.5. I think this will be a fun Sunday night football game. Everything leads me to believe that. 49.5 is too low. And the final one is going to be under 41.5 for Arizona, Tennessee. It was 42.5 as I was writing this down, so I don't like it as much anymore because it did move a point, but I still have to include it in the video as my bonus bet. Arizona's defense, I think, is stronger than people give it credit for, including the fact that Will Johnson is likely to return for the Cardinals. He is their number one corner. He's a legitimate rookie that I believe can slow down either of the Titans' top two targets. Calvin Ridley has been beat up entering this game, but it looks like he will play. The Titans didn't even score a point last week against the Texans, and they really don't have a good offensive line. They can't protect Cam Ward, and the Titans have a very vanilla offense. Brian Callahan is a joke. Cam Ward is trying his best, but he really just is a rookie that's struggling with not a lot of talent around him. And the Cardinals are getting healthier on defense. I think that they're a low-key good pass rush that could give this offensive line a lot of problems, including Josh Sweat and Calais Campbell. It's difficult to run on them because of Dalvin Tomlinson and Calais Campbell. And, you got Budda Baker flying around the field. On the other side, Tennessee's defense is certainly stronger than their offense. And I'm not a huge believer in the Cardinal offense. Kyler Murray really has to be a check down merchant in this offense because they have no speed at wide receiver. So there's not a lot of verticality to this offense. Tennessee knows to focus on the run game, and their run game is led by Michael Carter. Michael Carter. So with no James Conner, with no Trey Benson, there's very little in the run game. All you got to do is put your resources on Trey McBride, and Tennessee's been solid against tight ends this year. I think that Tennessee does a fair enough job to hang in it for about a half or 3/4, and the Cardinals will separate in the fourth quarter. But I still feel like this is more of an under than it is an over. 41.5 is too many points. I could see this game being 24-14. That would land on an under. 27-14 would just land on an under. So give me an under here. Cardinals, Titans. Cardinals get it done, but it won't be pretty because they're not a pretty football team. This is actually more of a defensive team than an offensive team. So under 41.5 is my pick. Those are my selections for my favorite over-unders for my first ever best bets here on Money Mitch. when talking about totals. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. If you did, Gronk spike the like button and subscribe. It's Mitch. See you later. Peace.